Hello beautiful people, it's your girl Jine and it's Jine Signatures. So today I'll be making this beautiful basque tube of shoulder, beautiful gown. It's very elegant. It came out very beautiful. So my client wanted this type, and so I decided to recreate it for her. She made use of a red fabric or a wine colored fabric. So she didn't want it dangling on one side. She wanted both sleeves like a sleeve. So you can see how beautiful it looks on my client. So sometimes when you see it on mannequins, please don't assume that the style was not properly made. You know, mannequins cannot give you the exact beauty that your clients will give you, because when she wears it, it's going to be looking very beautiful. It's going to be looking very dashing and very elegant. So please don't compare what you saw on the mannequin to what you're going to be seeing on the actual person that owns the style or that is wearing the style. So that's why. So when the mother sent me the pictures, I just had to use it for my tutorial so that you see the beauty of this beautiful piece. So if this is what you're interested in, please sit back, relax, and enjoy it. And as you're enjoying it, please don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like, and don't forget to share. So let's go over to the cutting table. So I already have my lines drafted out. I used 7 inches from my off shoulder, so I did my bust point on the bust, waist, and of course the full length of the half length. Like, you added extra inches to make it for the basque, and then I did my bust span measurement divided by 2. So now the next thing to do is to take my dart intake. So for the arm of the bust, I'll be using 1.5 inches, and I'll be connecting that all the way down to the length. And then on the sides of the facing me, I'll be marking out a half inch respectively. And then I'll just come down by half an inch and then connect my bust curve, and then I'll use a ruler to do this like that. So on the chest line, I'll just go ahead and take half an inch towards me and 1 inch towards the other side, and then I'll connect it respectively like so. So all this is just to tighten the chest area, because you don't want your boobs gaping out of your clothes. So now the next thing to do now is to get my round chest measurement, that is the upper chest measurement, not the bust this time around. You divide by 4, and then you add back those dart intakes and then your sewing allowances. And then for the bust area, you're going to be taking your bust measurement as well. You divide by 4, you add your sewing allowances. On the waist area, you go ahead and do the same thing. If you have your under bust measurement, please, you can kindly impute that as well. But I'll just impute my waist measurement divided by 4 and add back the dart intakes, and then I'll connect all those respectively. And then on the length of the top or the gown for now, I'll just divide the hip measurement by 4. Add back the dart intakes and then add my sewing allowances as well. So just go ahead and connect all this. So we're through with this. So the next thing to do now is to go up by 3 inches from this side, and then fold in my dart so that I'll be able to carve out my basque effects. So just fold it in as if you've already cut it off, so that you'll be able to carve out the basque on the waistline like so. So remember, I told you I went in by 3 inches, and then I'll go ahead and connect it like so. So subsequently, when I'm through with my sewing, I'm still going to be adjusting that basque area to fit what I want. Yeah. So I've cut out that, and then notch the underbust, and then go ahead to cut out the remaining on darts. So if you've watched up to this level and you've not yet subscribed, please kindly hit on the subscribe button. Thank you. And so we're through with the front piece. So let me just cut out the basque effect. So I'm through with the front piece, and now I'm just trying to label the part so that when I'm cutting and attaching it to be quite straightforward and easy. So the next thing to do now is to cut out the back, and then for the back I'm not going to be using lacing. I'll be using a zipper because that was what the client wanted. So I'll just go ahead and cut out the excess paper so that the table will not be muddled up. So now the next thing to do now is to just get placing my 7 inches above like you did in the front. You're going to be getting your waist measurement because automatically that first part is going to be our chest measurement or chest line. So the waist for the front and the back is not the same. So you go ahead and input your chest measurement right there, and then you add your allowances. You come to the waist part and then you divide your waist by 4 as well. You add 1 inch for that, and then your sewing allowances as well. And then you connect. Then you come to the lower part, that is the M, and then you divide your hip measurement by 4, and then you're going to be adding your sewing allowances, and then you're going to be connecting all those points together like so. The next thing to do is to get our darts. We divide our bust span measurement by 2, and then you mark it from the chest line, the waistline, and then the hip line respectively. So now this dart for the back is going to be an invisible zipper, an invisible dart, in the sense that I don't want to be sewing the dart at the back. I don't want it shown. So I'm going to be showing you how I'm going to be doing that. So on the chest line, you just come down by 1 inch, or you may just connect it directly. So to avoid our bulginess of the zipper, I came in by 1/2 inch, and then I'm slanting it like so. So go up by 1/2 inch at the upper part, lower part, and then you connect. So we're basically through with the drafting for the back piece. So like I did in the front, I'll go up by 3 inches and then connect it like so, because the back is also going to be having a basque effect. So I'll go ahead and cut all this out like so. So just follow all the lines that I'm cutting out, and then this is what you should be having by the time you finish cutting your own as well. So for this dart, like I told you, is going to be an invisible zipper. So I'll just be cutting this open and then place it on top of each other like this, because I don't want the dart to be shown. So like the name implies, invisible. It's not going to be seen, but it's going to be there. So I just want to use my tape to tape it down, and then to avoid this part, because of the darts that I did, I just have to come in 1/2 inch up and down from the zipper area like this, and then I'll cut it open. So this is going to avoid any bulginess of zipper around that area like so. So I'll use my tape to also tape it down. Don't worry, it's not going to be affecting the length of the top or the gown. So this is what we have. So we have our back piece, and then we have our front pieces. So I'll go ahead and cut all this on my fabric. So I haven't done that. This is what I have. I've gone ahead to cut it out, attached my wadding and my ST on both the lining and the main fabric. So I'll go ahead and couple all this together, and then I'll be back to show you. So I've gone ahead to do that, and I've even gone ahead to do my closure, so you can see how it looks. I don't want to do an inseam finishing, because if you do an inseam finishing to adjust this cloth, it's going to be very serious. So I'll go ahead and attach my gathers part to make up for the length of the gown. So for the bustier area, I added boning channels to both the lining and the main fabric. So now I've gone ahead to use my lining to cover up the stitches on the waist area, so you can see the inside, how neat it's looking here. So it's only the upper parts, the side seams, that I'll be using my weaving machine to make it clean. So this is what we have. You can see how beautiful it's looking already. So now the next thing to do now is to just attach our off-shoulder ruffles. So in order to do that, like I said, we have different ways we can do this. So for this, I made use of 1 yard. I just cut out 1 yard and then folded into 2, and folded it into two and went ahead to stitch it up like this, and then I'll be back. So I went ahead, I've sewn it, you can see, so it's doubled. I wanted it to be firm. So if you want to make use of single, you can go ahead and do that, but I just wanted it to have base. So now I'll get the middle part and then I pinned it on my fabric like this. Then you create a form of like you want to pleat. But you know, organdy and organza are not the same thing. This one is better than organza because organza, I don't know, is a lower quality to this. So organdy is always the sure bet. I always love working with organdy. So I'm just going to show you how I'll be using my hand needle to create my effect on this, like so. So for this part, I've finished this one. I'll be cutting out the thread and then I'll tie it very well, tie it up to 4 or 5 times. So for the other sides, like you can still use your machine when you get the midpoint of that organdy and then you get the sides where you are supposed to gather. You can use your machine to do the gathers and then later bring it in and use your hand stitch to stitch it to the fabric. But I just felt like that would be too tedious. Let me just use my hand to do this, since it can also be achieved with your hands. So you can see me the way I'm trying to do it, and then I'm sewing it like this. Make sure you use a matching thread, very very important. You can't be working with a white fabric and then you use a black thread. No, you must use a uniform colored thread so that it will reduce the the thread that probably may show, so it will reduce it. I don't know how to say it, yeah, but you understand what I mean. So this is what I've done right there, and then I'll go ahead. So it's just the way I did it in the middle part. So just go ahead and then you tie it, and then tie it very well. Tie it very well because you don't want your client's clothes ripping off her body. So you can see the effect it created. So I'll go ahead and repeat that on this other side as well. So if you're enjoying watching this tutorial and you have not yet subscribed and you even watched it to almost the end or the end, what did I do to you? Please kindly share this video, share it, subscribe, like, and please leave beautiful comments. Thank you. So the same thing I did for the other side, I'm repeating the same thing for this side as well, and then we're almost through with the tutorial. So just let your creativity work here. Just let your creativity work. So just go ahead and then you tighten it, and then you go ahead and tie it very well as well. So if you want to leave it dangling like the model on the video, you can go ahead and leave it dangling, but my client wanted her own to come out like an off-shoulder sleeve. So I'll just go ahead and pleat in the excess, and then I'll be back to show you how it looks. Yeah. So I've gone ahead to do that, so you can see how beautiful this is looking already. So it's like a hanging sleeve. It's not fitted on the shoulder, but it has created an effect of a sleeve. So if you enjoyed watching this tutorial, kindly leave beautiful comments. See you all on my next tutorial. Like I always say, this is Jine Signatures and I'm signing